Good morning, everyone, and welcome back. You made it to day 2, and this is our second session of our 5-day challenge to align your energy to manifest with 20K. Your 20K, it is coming your way, and I am so excited to support you with this amazing training going over the top 3 energy drains that are sabotaging your manifestation potential. So again, my name is Ahmadzai, your clairvoyant success coach and manifestation mentor for high-performing female entrepreneurs all around the world. So again, day 2, we are talking about the top 3 energy drains that are sabotaging your manifestation potential. And I'm so honored to be your guide and your host. This is a topic that I am very passionate about. With my background in psychic training and 9 years of coaching, these are things that no one else is really talking about in the industry. So this training in particular is incredibly important because you can know all of the steps for manifestation, but if you have energy drains that are leaking your energy, your voltage, then guess what? You're going to struggle a little bit more when it comes to manifestation. So let's dive in. Again, who are you tuning in? Where are you tuning in from, and who are you tuning in with? I would love to know, is this the first time that you are seeing me? Are you new to our audience? If so, come say hello. Or are you a seasoned friend or client, and even our teammates, if you guys want to say hello. We have Katie and Kiara and Sadie in here if you ladies wanted to say hi. And again, my name is Ahmadzai, and I will be your guide and your host for these next few days as we finish this challenge strong. And I'm the creator of the Queenly Entrepreneur brand, where we help women clear their abundance blocks, amplify their manifestation, and step into their most queenly form of leadership in life, business, and beyond. And I'm so excited that you are tuning into this training. Congratulations for showing up for yourself and showing up for your future self as well, because we are here to do the deep work. It's not just about we're going to take some notes, watch a training, and then that's it. I want you to truly be able to integrate this, all of this content. Beautiful. I see everyone who's hopping on here. Welcome. I'm a longish time lurker from Los Angeles. Hi, Stephanie. And from India. Hello, our friends from India. Ooh, I love it. And hey, Bree. I love seeing you, all of you on here. By the way, if you were here for yesterday's training, you know how powerful and impactful this is going to be. I encourage you to invite friends right now to this training and say, hey, this is live energy drains. You're not going to want to miss it. Who do you know that will benefit from this information? Invite them to the Mediocre to Magical Academy, tag them in this training, call up your friends, whatever it takes, because you are not going to want to miss this. So I can't wait also to hear what impacted you the most from yesterday's session. Thank you for sharing in your stories and on your feed. I love seeing these top takeaways. Feel free to share your takeaways in the group as well, because we want to share this message far and wide. And I am so honored to bring you to the next step of this unbelievably powerful manifestation training. Awesome. Hello. I see more of you hopping on here. So before we get started, I want to make sure that number one, you do have your workbook. If you don't have that, please comment below and say, hey friends, I need the workbook, and a member of my team will make sure that you have that link sent to you. It's a great resource, so that way you can follow along in the training. Also, we have our amazing team, Team Queenly. We have Katie Bergtol. You'll see her in the comments in a little bit. She is my right-hand woman. She does all the ins and outs of my business on the community management side. And so if you need anything, you can totally see her. And then we have Kiara, who we've newly welcomed on the team as well. So fantastic. And she's our community concierge. So she can answer any question as well. If you need a link, if you have a question, if you need to access me directly, of course, my DMs are open, but you can also go through my team because they are here as an extension of me, which I love. And then of course we have Sadie K, who, big thank you to her, because she has created all of the graphics and the beautiful design for this 5-day training. So if you see Katie, Kiara, or Sadie in the comments, know that they are here to support you in any way possible in any question that you have. Also want to remind you to have your pen, your paper ready, because we're going to take a lot of notes. You're going to learn a ton of things that you probably never heard of before. And of course, stay hydrated. Because energy flows. The more hydrated we are, the more work that we can do. And my team will continue to post content recaps at the end of each of the trainings, and also the homework thread. So definitely look out for those. Sorry, guys, I'm shitting all over myself. I also want to mention the giveaway. So we have the giveaway. Things that we will be sharing is number one, we will be giving away my number one best-selling book here. She is Magic. I'm a contributing author in this book where I share my top manifestation tools that have helped me actually earn my first 20K day in my business. It's all in here. So we'll be giving this away. Also a scholarship to the Queenly Entrepreneur Program. I'm so excited to see who is going to win that. We're going to be giving away a free 60-minute abundance activation session with me. You and I, we get to dive into whatever it is that you are working through, whether it is health or relationships, it's business, it's, hey, I don't even know what it is. I just know I need to be in Ashley's space. I am here for you, and you get 60 minutes with me as part of this giveaway. And then finally, we are going to be giving away a cash prize of $100. And so in order to participate in this giveaway, here's what you got to do. Show up live. It's okay if you're watching the replay. By the way, if you're watching the replay, can you give us a hashtag replay? Because when we see you in the comments in the Facebook group, that is going to count towards your participation in the giveaway. And also the homework thread. You will see at the end of each training, there will be a homework thread. You participate in that. It also counts as participation towards your towards entering the giveaway. And then also you get extra entries if you are able to post in your stories, if you want to take a screenshot of this training, share your top takeaway in your feed, Instagram, Facebook, whatever feels good for you. We want to share this message far and wide. I see all of you sharing this in the comments. Yes, I want to highlight Kelsey here. Kelsey says, money comes easily to me. The cash is mine. Yes, the last time that Christina was in this training, she said that at the beginning, and guess what? She won that $100. So we are here to raise the vibration and align it with all of the abundance that is coming your way. So be sure to tune in to this giveaway, participate. Again, if you have any questions, we are here to support you. And then as more of you are popping on here, I want to also remind you that, again, this is not about consuming information. I am here to create lifelong change. And so this is truly about aligning your energy to manifest 20K and beyond. $20,000 is just a representation of energy because money is energy. So that gets to be whatever abundance that you are calling in, and also 20K. So with this true integration, I want you to stay committed. You signed up, you registered for this event for a reason. Tune in and dig into why did you do that? And stay committed to it for these next few days because it is my commitment to you. I'm going to bring it. My team and I are going to be here to support you and answer every question that you have every single step of the way. So lead with your questions and make sure that you are showing up to get them answered. Another reminder is we're going to be creating a guide section. So there's going to be a lot of posts in the group. So if you see that, know that you can click at the very top and it will have a guide section for you where all of the trainings for this challenge will be easy for you to find if you need to access the replay. So if you missed it, the replays are going to be up until Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, August 31st, and they'll be taken down at 9 p.m. Pacific time. So if you need to catch up, it's totally okay. But guess what? Everything is going to come down on Tuesday at midnight. So make sure that you are watching the replays, participating when you can, all of the things, and also make sure that you're adding your friends so they can tune into this information as well. And all of our sessions will be at 12 p.m. Pacific time, same place and same time, same place. So have that mapped out on your calendar and plan to attend so that way you can get the most out of this challenge. So congratulations for being here. I'm so proud of you for saying yes to you. And again, my name is Ashley Ahmadzai, and I am honored to be your guide and your host. So let's dive into the top 3 energy drains that are sabotaging your manifestation potential. And again, thank you so much for everyone who's in the comments because I see all of you that are hopping on. And when I see you in the comments, I'm like, okay, perfect. They're resonating with it. They love it. So if you're new and you're like, I don't even know who this Ashley person is, I want to get to know you. So hi, Tammy. Hi, everyone who's in there. Come say hello in the comments. Come hang out with me because otherwise I'm alone in my office with Mochi, which he'll probably make a debut here when he wakes up. So again, these energy drains are topics that no one's really talking about. If it wasn't for my extensive psychic training, I would have no idea, but it is really important. And this is one of the missing factors and perspectives, you could say, when it comes to manifestation, is really looking at not just our energy and raising our frequency, voltage, and vibration, but also what are the leakages? Where are they coming from? So I'm going to walk you through these energy drains. The first is going to be with our mind, energy drains with our mind. And then secondly, with our body, things for us to really be mindful of in that space. And then third, we're going to go over environment. And hello, Stephanie. Hello, everyone who is on here. Okay, great. Make sure that you have your workbooks ready. And let's do this. Okay, energy drain number one, specifically with your mind. Energy or information consumption. We have to be really, really mindful of this because your subconscious mind is watching and absorbing and learning all of the time. And so we have to be really mindful about the information that we are consuming and we're receiving, because in a way we are programming our subconscious mind to align with whatever it is that we're putting in front of it. So for example, music. This is huge. Let me know in the comments. Give me your favorite emoji. Do you love music? I'm such a music junkie. I love all of the genres, all of the everything. And I love to dance. It's so important to me. And sometimes I'll notice that there's a song that has a really good beat. Like if you've heard the song, it's like by Sigla or something. And it's like, I just got paid. And I'm like, oh yeah, like I love that song. I'll have it playing while I'm getting ready. And then I listen to the words of what it's actually saying. And it's talking about, I just got paid and I'm going to spend all my money at the club and now I'm broke. And we have to be really careful, because does that align with the life that we want to create? No, that's not what I want to do. I mean, I want to be at the club and I want to get paid and I want to do all of those things, right? But I'm not trying to be irresponsible with it. So why am I listening and tuning in to and programming my subconscious mind to align with that to be my truth? And does the music that you're listening to and the lyrics that you are tuning into, does it align with the way that you want to feel? That's another really important note here when it comes to music, because we might be listening to songs about breakups or depression or whatever, and they're great songs. I mean, you can listen to them, but just be really mindful that you're not listening to them on repeat. Make sure you're conscious of what you're available for and what you're not available for, because I know, for example, there are with like breakups, right? I start listening to that stuff and then I'm like, why am I even making myself available for that? Because I'm a married woman. Like that's not even an option in my relationship. But I start listening to the songs and it becomes part of my programming. Same thing when they talk about cheating or whatever that is. It's kind of a joke with some of my friends because they know I love to dance. But if we go out and they play the same songs over and over again, it's like, all these white bitches want to have my babies. And I'm like, no, sir, I don't. Like, that's not true for me. That's not how I feel. That doesn't align with my beliefs. Like, no, I don't. No, thank you. And so I'm not going to dance to that music. Like, it just doesn't align with my values. I know some people are like, Ashley, you're so extra. But I'm really, really mindful about what I consume and what I participate in. And then if you've ever had a song and you listen to it and it's on replay in your head and you can't get it out. Okay, now imagine if you have lyrics in your head that do not align with your morals, your values, or what it is that you are calling in to manifest, but it gets stuck in your head. It's not stuck in your conscious mind. It gets stuck in your subconscious mind, which is why it's playing in the background and you're not even thinking about it, just like your heart beating or just like your breath. So be really, really mindful of what it is that you are listening to and tuning into, because your subconscious mind is always listening. So the Queenly Entrepreneur playlist, if you would like access to that, I know my team, we might have to search for that link, but if you want to drop it in the comments below, we actually do have a Queenly Entrepreneur playlist that has high vibe, inspirational, loving music that you can tune into any time of the day. Some of them are a little bit slow. Some of them are really amped up where you can dance and get ready to it and have a perfect road trip with this playlist. So if you would like access to that, please comment below and say, hey, I really love the playlist, and my team will share that with you. So now you have some high vibe music for your subconscious mind to consume and expand. So you are aligning and raising your frequency and energy to manifest 20K. Beautiful. I see so many of you are loving this. And Katie, I know Katie's like, the playlist is fantastic. I listen to it on replay all the time. Okay. So Information consumption, right? Number one is going to be music. What are you listening to? Does it align with how you want to feel? Does it align with your morals, values, and beliefs? Secondly is TV. I know people can spend a lot of time watching TV, but again, your subconscious mind is listening. So if you ever watched a movie or a show and then you thought about it later, or maybe even having nightmares about it. I know I cannot do scary movies because I will have horrible nightmares. And then rather than me waking up feeling excited for the day, I'm stressed out because in my sleep, I was having nightmares about the movie or the show or whatever it is that I just watched. Now, Game of Thrones, I think it was very well done. I actually did not watch it. My husband would just rewind and show me the dragon parts because that was my favorite. But I would, when he was watching it, I would have to like walk past the kitchen and I would catch these glimpses of scenes that were so traumatic. Like Game of Thrones was intense. And so even though I didn't watch the show or the movie, I saw that and I would go to bed and have nightmares about it. And so this is an energy drain because I could be spending my restful sleep healing and focusing on what it is that I want to manifest. But instead, because I accidentally consumed this traumatic information, you know, my subconscious mind was like, oh my gosh, it felt real to me. It felt possible because I saw it on the screen. And being a clairvoyant, which is the ability to see mental image pictures in your mind's eye, and I teach this professionally of how to manifest using your clairvoyance. When I saw something, my conscious brain and my subconscious brain, they're kind of the same thing because it's real to me. And so that is an energy drain to be really mindful of. Also, like La La Land, any of you see La La Land? Oh my gosh, it wasn't scary, but I was so wrecked. I was so wrecked after watching that because I was heartbroken that the two characters weren't able to be together at the end. And I'm sharing this because it wasn't a bad movie. It was a great movie, but it was an energy leakage for me because I was focusing so much on those characters and I was sad for them. And it's okay to empathize with the characters, but there comes an extent when you have nightmares and you're dragging it on and you're using that valuable manifestation space in your head and you're focusing it on something else, whether that's fear or that's sadness or that's whatever it is. So be really mindful of what you are consuming in your space. Again, does it align with the life that you want to create? Does it align with the way that you want to feel? And are you watching shows that align with your morals and what you believe in? Tammy's like, I didn't watch either of those. And that's probably a good thing, right? Like I much prefer cartoons over, or here is a good example. Have you guys seen Parks and Rec? I love Parks and Recreation. It was actually my first show that I never used to watch TV until I met him. My first show that he introduced me to. And Leslie Knope, oh my goodness, she's just so incredible. And I adore her. She's so passionate and she believes in the positive of anything. And there's no sticky situation that can get her down because she's always finding a solution. So when I'm watching her, I'm actually partnering with that character in my subconscious mind and saying, yes, it is possible for us to find a solution. And yes, we can lead into the community and find creative ways to support the masses. And so that is really, really inspiring to me to watch her. Another example is Selling Sunset. They're realtors, multi-millionaire realtors who are selling these multi-million-dollar homes. So their commission from selling a home is many thousands of dollars. Actually, I forgot how much it is, but it could be like a lot. It's been a while since I watched it, but and so it's really amazing for me to watch these empowered entrepreneurial women who were walking around feeling safe, selling these big houses and safe, receiving that amount of income, and they took care of themselves. They weren't hustling and running around like, oh my gosh, I'm so busy, I'm so exhausted, I'm a hot mess. Instead, they were very put together and powerful and profound in their confidence and knowing and groundedness as they are showing people these homes. And so when I watch that, it's programming my subconscious mind of, yes, this is what a queenly entrepreneur gets to be and it gets to look like. You don't have to struggle and stress and be in the hustle and all of those things. It gets to be easy. And if you notice these gals in some of these shows, like for example, Selling Sunset, they aren't running around. Granted, it's a reality TV show, so it's a little bit different, but still that gets to be inspiring. I see some other people in here like Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist. Yes, there are some really good ones out there. Now, in contrast, The Office. My husband loves The Office. He like watched all of the seasons. I watched a couple with him, like we're eating dinner and talking about it. But what I noticed is when I watch The Office, they're all good people, but they're not exceptionally motivated individuals. And no shame, they're all amazing, right? And you can really connect with those characters. But I noticed that when I was watching those shows with my husband, I was becoming more lazy. I wanted to sleep in more. Like I just didn't have the drive and the motivation to do the things that I did when I was surrounding myself with the episodes of, say, Parks and Rec or Selling Sunset, for example. So let me know how this is resonating with you. Let me know what your favorite shows are that are really uplifting for you, because again, your subconscious mind is listening. So we want to tune into that. It's also really important with kids. Really pay attention to what they are listening to and what they are watching. So we got the music, we got the TV. The third thing I really want you to focus about, an energy drain to be very careful of, is the conversations. You are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time around, which is why you'll notice if you're hanging around someone who has an accent, you're probably going to pick up that accent, or maybe even that slang. Like if you go to Texas and suddenly you come back saying y'all or something like that, or you may even have certain mannerisms of people that you come back with. And the reason is because when we are the average of the people we spend the most time around. So if you're having conversations with people who are saying, oh, I'm so broke, or oh, of course this would happen, or they're complaining about things, we're going to send them love, because everybody deserves that, and that, to witness them. And at the same time, we don't have to stay stuck there, because it can be an energy drain. And also that can be due to, energy vampires. Like that is how they operate in the world, is by siphoning off energy from other people. And so be really, really mindful of the conversations that you are having and the people that you are around. We have an inside joke in a lot of my trainings. You may have heard about flatulent thoughts, right? Like those stinky thoughts. If somebody says something to me, I'll give you the example of my husband. As I remember many, many years ago, I wanted to put Presley into, I don't know, it was like dance or soccer. It was an extracurricular activity. She was like 2 at the time. And my husband said, he was my boyfriend at the time, he's like, oh, I don't think we can afford that. And if you know me, I'm all about manifestation and money is always available. But when he said that, it was like, oh my gosh, like what did you just release in my space? Like that might be true for you, but it's not true for me. And I just wanted to escape that, no shame to my husband, because he's incredible. But that stinking thinking was not in alignment with what I believe, which is I can always provide for my daughter. There's never going to be something that I can't afford, because I'm going to find a way to make it work, right? So I want you to kind of treat your conversations that way as well. You don't have to be very visual in doing that, but I would encourage you to share, or to take note of the conversations that you're having. Are people leaving these like flatulent thought bombs in your space? And you're like, oh my gosh, that's so gross. What happens if you stay in that space? If someone releases flatulence, what? You're going to stink. You are going to stink like them. That's why we are the average of the 5 people that we spend the most time with, right? So with that, what I want you to do is remove yourself from the conversation, or avoid even being in that space in the first place. Or you can tune into your energy protection tools, which we have as a freebie. So if you want access to that freebie, you can just say, hey, can I get the energy protection tools freebie? And my team will drop that for you, and it'll be easy to access. So keep in mind, are they releasing these flatulent thoughts? And you have an action step. What is your action step to help you release from that conversation? Maybe it's going to be upgrading your circle. Maybe you're going to hang out with us more in the Mediocre to Magical Academy. Hey, just planting the seed here. Maybe you want to join us in the Queenly Entrepreneur Program, where it's a bunch of high vibe women who are all about elevating our energy, our mindset, all of the things. And of course, manifesting like crazy in all of the ways. Come hang out with us. You want to have yourself in this high vibrational space, so it is safe for you to manifest, rather than having people like drain your energy in that way. So I felt it was really important to share what you can do and tools that you can implement in order to protect yourself in these situations. So if an energy vampire, sounds kind of rude, but you'll know what I'm talking about, right? If an energy vampire, for example, wants to hang out, and they're like, or someone that you know is going to drag you down, or they're going to complain, or they're going to be in a mindset that isn't going to support where you're at, then one of the things that you can do is say, hey, oh my gosh, I would love that. My heart says yes. I'd love to hang out with you, but my calendar says no. And that's a great way and a great tool that you can use. So that way you are blessing and releasing the situation, but you're also letting them go gracefully. And it can be true. I know for me it's true because there's a million other things that I can prioritize over that. Another thing you can ask is like, hey, when's the next social event that we're going to be able to meet at? It's brilliant because that way you don't have to be with this person one-on-one, but you can still support them and say, hey, let's go to the next networking meeting or the next group event or the next whatever that looks like, offering that opportunity so you can upgrade your circles and the conversations that you're having with people versus feeling like you have to sit across from somebody at coffee and be drained. You don't need that leakage. You are here to manifest big, huge, ginormous, out of this world, unbelievable, miraculous things. So we really do have to protect our energy. And so maybe it might sound like how this is coming out might be like, oh my gosh, she's so catty. I'm saying protect your energy because it is so, so important. And money is energy. So protect it. My heart says yes, my calendar says no. When is the next social event that we're going to be able to gather at? Another thing that you can do, which I have had to do with people who, it's okay if they disagree, but if someone is trying to challenge you or attack you, maybe it's about your business, it's about your beliefs, it's about whatever, and it can be such a drain. Sometimes like family can do this because they feel really comfortable to attack you in that way. I've done this before and I've said, I am so sorry, but I'm going to stop you right there because I am not available for this conversation. And just using that line, you have permission. Protect your energy. You do not need to lay over and play dead because somebody else is like pushing into your field. No, you get to be in charge of the conversation. And a line like that, you don't even have to say I'm sorry because you're not sorry. Sometimes it's gentle, like, hey, I'm going to stop you right there. I am not available for this conversation. But if you want to talk about the weather, I am so happy to do that. Or if you want to discuss what we're talking about or like what we're here to discuss, then we can go over that. But if not, I'm not available for it. So a reminder, you get to say that. I see people are like, yes, I love that. You're going to use it. Perfect. And some additional helpful tips. Maybe you get caught in the belief system of, it rubs off on you and you're like, I am broke or I can't afford that. I want to encourage you to flip that script. And instead of saying, I'm broke or I can't afford it, you can say, you know what? I'm just saving for something else right now. And the universe is helping you. So if you don't have the funds, the universe is helping you save for something else right now. Do you see the shift in that energy? The shift in the conversation that we are having with ourselves. So it's not just with others. It's a conversation we are also having with ourselves. Another thing that you can say, whether it's to someone else or it's a conversation with yourself, is, that might be true for them, but it's not true for me. And so I've had situations where I will overhear somebody say, for example, talking trash about entrepreneurship. I don't know. Say it's something like that. And maybe I'm not going to participate in that conversation at all because I don't need to go to bat and like prove a point or anything. Sometimes I will. But if I don't want to, I want to protect my energy. I'm just going to walk away and say, that might be true for them, but it's not true for me. And that's okay. It gets to be that way. You don't have to absorb their energy and be like, oh my gosh, maybe they're right. You're like, that's for them. Just like we talked about yesterday with Presley, right? And she's like, you know what? Now that I'm losing my baby teeth, I think it's time for me to start making my own decisions. Like, take charge and ownership of your thoughts and the conversations that you are having. Beautiful. I see some of you in the comments. You're like, so true. Family can be so brutal. Oh my gosh, brutal. I was like, beautiful at the same time. Susan says, I'm not available for this conversation. I'm checking out of that. Yes, you get to say it. We need to stop being afraid to be assertive. And I can do a whole other training on that because I know what it's like as a woman, like some guy slaps your rear end and you're like, oh, ha, 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 because I was working, so I couldn't turn around and say, excuse me, mister, don't do that. And so we're kind of trained as women to be gentle and kind and not cause too much of a disturbance because we're ladies. Now is the time. The wait is over. Our time is now. We get to be gentle and graceful, and we also get to set down those boundaries. So taking ownership of our mind and our thoughts. So it's not an energy leakage, whether it's coming from us or it's coming from other people or TV or from music. So energy drain number 2, this is leakages in your body. really important. Let me know if you've thought about this, or maybe this is brand new, because this is something that I had to learn on my own. I never actually learned this outside of me coaching and doing my own work. But in order for abundance to flow in, it needs to feel safe. It needs to feel safe, and you need to be whole, not need to be, I don't like that word, but the better I know for myself, the better that I feel and the more care that I take, the better care I take of myself, the easier it is for me to manifest. And a large part of that is because abundance will flow in when it feels safe. And when I feel whole and I am supporting myself, I'm advocating for myself, I'm loving on me, it like kind of gives the green light to the universe to be like, oh, she ready. Like she's ready. She doesn't have any holes in her energy system where when the abundance comes in, it's just going to fall right through and she's going to be like, oh, I'm not worthy of that. Right? We want to start with our body. Make sure that you are taking care of yourself. So that's a question for you. Are you taking care of yourself? And that's not just your, your mindset, your heart set, your soul set, but let's talk specifically about your body. What conversations are you having about your body and your energy field in that space? Are you, when you look in the mirror, are you tearing yourself apart and saying like, I don't like this, I don't like my stretch marks or my hips or my this or my that? Because if you are, then you're, again, valuable manifestation brain power that we could be using to manifest or call in our desires, instead of using it for that, when we are tearing ourselves apart, for example, we're actually lowering our energy and lowering our vibration, and we're not in a space of gratitude for what we do have. Even if our body isn't perfect, because what the heck does that even mean anyways? But maybe it is stretch marks or hips, or you got an extra toe or an extra nipple, whatever, whatever it is, it's like, but do you have legs that you can walk and, chase your child around or your cousin or your nephew? Do you have eyesight to be able to see the beautiful changes and flows and natural cycles of the earth that we live in? Do you have ears to hear giggling and laughing of the neighbor kids next door? Do you have that? If so, lean into that gratitude. But a lot of times a block and an energy drainage is we aren't even grateful for what we have in this body and temple that we live in every single day. So are you taking care of yourself? What is the narrative that you have around your body? Because no matter what you manifest, you can manifest the best clothes, the gorgeous house, the perfect partner, the money, the trips, the yacht, the jet. You can manifest all of that. But you know what doesn't change? Well, we all kind of evolve, but our body and our temple is the most important thing that has to be available to receive it. Because it doesn't make sense to call in everything, but you're too sick, exhausted, tired, and fatigued to enjoy it, right? So I want you to start with your body. Are you taking care of yourself? Let me know in the comments. How are you taking care of yourself? And are you rejecting a part of your body? If so, what do we need to do in order to seal that up? Because it is an energy leakage, and it's a really important thing that a lot of people don't think about. But when we start with our body, we create this whole safe space for the abundance to flow in. And another way to think about it, okay, I'm hearing that it looks like the audio might be a little bit weird. People are saying, I can't hear anything except an echo. So I'm going to pause real quick because I want to make sure everybody can hear this. Thanks. Tamara says, audio is good. It's okay. It's okay. So I'm going to continue with the training. Please let me know. I will watch in the comments. Okay. And there will be a replay too if something does go on, but know that I'm here for you. Perfect. So another thing I want you to really consider is treating your body. Think about it as if it is a little child, right? I remember my aunt once told me, she's like, Ashley, you need to take care of yourself the way that you do for your cousins. My two cousins, I've like raised them since they were babies. They're my firstborn. I was basically an au pair every summer, every holiday. With my family, and I would make sure that they had their perfectly balanced plate. They had their book read to them. I was playing with them all day. They were so stimulated and joyful. And when I was there, it was like a total party. They were well taken care of. They had their sleep. I'd give them little massages before bed on their cute little toes, have them a bath with Epsom salt or whatever it was, like little bubbles. I wanted them to feel so special and so comfortable. And yet here we are as adults, right? We'll do that for other people, especially our children, our nephews, our nieces, whatever that is. But for ourselves, we're like, oh, I'm going to fall asleep with my makeup on, and who cares if I brush my teeth? or maybe you're not taking care of yourself in a different way. Maybe it's through food or it's through whatever that is. I want to remind you to treat your body as if it is a little child. Love and nurture yourself, because if you're ignoring an aspect of yourself, if you're rejecting a certain part of your body, imagine that it's kind of one of your children and you're abandoning that aspect of yourself. We don't want to do that. We want to be whole and complete as we receive this. So that is an energy leakage. And how are you looking to seal that up? Oh, I love this. You know, I'm going to share this because you've shared this a couple of times, Bree, so it feels safe to share on here. And I want to honor you, my friend. She says, trigger warning, I have an eating disorder and endometriosis, and you've helped me manifest my nutritionist. And I'm so grateful for you sharing this, because there are a lot of things in the back end that a lot of people they aren't willing to talk about. And as someone too who has overcome eating disorders, it was actually a part of my story is a long time ago when I was modeling and go-go dancing and all of those things. That's why the energy leakage in our body is so important for us to focus on, because it can become a drain if we are not doing the work in that area. So I'm so proud of you, Bree, for leaning into that and finding answers and solutions. Also, oh, I lost my spot here. So what are you doing to seal that up? And treat yourself like somebody that you love, with compassion. Are you doing that? I want you to coach yourself as a professional athlete. This is a whole other perspective too. A professional athlete, they have the best of the best chiropractors, healing staff. They have the counselors. They probably have lavender on their pillow. I don't know, but they are well taken care of, because they are this gem that is so special that everyone is just like, oh, I'm going to do whatever it is that you need help with. You got to treat yourself like a professional athlete. And with that, whatever it is that you're diving into, maybe even it's business, you got to train just like you're an athlete as well. Treat yourself as the elite person that you are. And athletes have that grit. They have that grit, and they're willing to do the things even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's hard. Maybe you don't want to get up and do that workout or go for a walk or do whatever it is, but you know it's going to be good for your body. I want you to remind yourself and treat yourself as if you are an athlete, because when we treat our body with respect, guess what? Energy, voltage, vibration, our tissues, our cells in our body are going to say, woohoo, she's listening to me and I'm so excited for this. And suddenly all of that rises up, the vibration rises up, and then you're a match for more things. It is like magic. So treat yourself like an athlete, treat yourself with compassion, treat yourself in that inner child that you have, with the love, the nurturing, the support that is needed, knowing that you are worthy of it. And something else I want to mention before I wrap up this point is that if you want to manifest $20,000, you got to start treating yourself like you already have it. And that's a really, really big point here, because I would think, oh, when I have the money, then I will have nice clothes. Or when I have the money, then I will take care of myself in this way. Or I would think when I have the money, then I'll go to yoga classes and things like that. We got to prepare for it. Don't just dream your dreams. You actually have to prepare for them to come in. So maybe you don't have the finances right now to do a regular yoga class or Pilates or bar or whatever that is, but you can find a free YouTube video online and you can do that right now instead. And so you want to know that you can manifest that 20K, but you got to become who you are meant to be in order to receive it. Does that make sense? Yes, yes, yes. Kiara says, big one, you have to be a match for what you are asking the universe for. Be ready for it, my friend. Be ready for it. Susan says, I've been telling my husband a trick I learned from athletes training. He won't believe in it. You know what? And that is why we have to have grit. We have to mind our mind in the conversations that we are having, because there's some things that my husband doesn't agree with either. Or maybe it's not he doesn't agree with, he doesn't understand. And so with that being said, I'm like, okay, that might be true for you, but it's not true for me. And keep on keeping on and stay tuned with our group, because we have the high vibrational conversations in here. And I know that really helps. That's why I created the community. Okay, you are worthy of it. We want to, of the abundance that is coming in, but it is really important to seal up any leakages that we have in our body and our relationship with our body, because this is the temple that is going to receive all of the abundance, and it is not worth it if at the end of the day you are exhausted, all of those things. So energy drain number 3. Okay, this one is really important. Make sure that you have your pen and paper ready. Take a little sip of water if you need to. Energy leakages in your environment. We're going to talk about first your bedroom or your office. So here's what happens is, say that you're in a relationship and you have an argument in the bedroom, for example. You have an argument in the bedroom. Well, so that energy that you put out there is going to, kind of like smoke, it's going to get caught in the nooks and crannies of your bedroom. If you've ever been around someone who smokes, or if you are familiar with smoking, it's the craziest thing, but it will, the smoke will turn the walls a yellow or an orange. My parents were big smokers. It was really crazy because I remember they painted white next to the wall. I didn't know that it was orange. You couldn't see until there was a stark contrast. And it was so crazy. But the smoke, even though you can't really touch it, it can cling into those spaces. And that is exactly how energy works. So if you've ever been driving in a car and you look at someone and you're like, oh, cute haircut or handsome dude, and he like looks over at you and you're like, oh, shoot, like, how'd that happen, right? How did that person know that you were looking at them? Well, because energy has a frequency and like actually has like a vibration that people and things can feel, just like smoke. You can't grab it, you can't hold it, but you can feel it, and you can see it too in some cases when you're psychic. So same thing if you're in a big crowd and you lock eyes with someone across the room and there's like hundreds of people there and you're like, oh my gosh, what just happened, right? Like you're sending energy in that space. So when it comes to your bedroom or your office or any really sacred space in your room, I want you to be mindful of the conversations that you're having, the music that you're listening to, the TV that you are consuming, because all of that can get stuck in the nooks and crannies of your space. So there are lots of ways that you can clean this. But before I dive into that, I want you to know how you can tune into it. Because have you ever walked into a room and you're like, ooh, this like doesn't feel good. I don't know why, but there's just something about it. Or if you walked into a room and you're like, oh my gosh, it feels so good in here. I can't even like describe what it is, but I love it. It's because energy can be stored in these spaces. So you might have a certain room of your house that you absolutely love. You might have a certain room in your house that you do not like. Or in my case, in my office, if I'm doing a lot of thinking and sometimes I get in resistance mode where I'm like, oh, come on, brain, why won't this work? Or why is this happening? It's like all these stinky thoughts will get in my office. And then suddenly, for some reason, I don't really want to come in here. Like, unless I'm working and have client facing work, I don't want to come in here for some reason. When that happens, I realize, oh, I got to clear the space because it has some trapped energy in here. And when I sit in here and it's like a stinky cloud, it actually drains my energy and drains my creative flow. So let me know in the comments, have you experienced this yourself? I see, yeah, Kiara's like, so true. I didn't even realize this until lately. Again, no one's really talking about this. But here's what you can do to clear it. Number one, be really mindful and aware of how do you feel in each of the rooms in your house, specifically your bedroom and your office, because we tend to spend a lot of time in those spaces. And then number two, once you're aware of it, number two, ask yourself what has contributed to the energy being in that space in the first place. So that way, once you clear it, you can prevent more sticky stuff getting stuck in the room. And then number three, tools that you can use to protect your space. Number one, you can always use Palo Santo, which I'm sure you're familiar with, or if you're not, here we go. Here's mine for my office. Palo Santo, I love this because it smells really good and it doesn't burn like crazy. There's not a bunch of ash. It's really subtle and it smells so delicious. Or you can use sage, which I don't have. That's actually upstairs. And you can light the end of it and walk around your office, your bedroom, your home. And I would invite you to say a prayer. Whatever feels good for you. You can't do it right or wrong as long as you have a really strong intention of God, angels, guides, universe, all that be, whatever you want to call in, great grandma, I ask to clear the space of anything that no longer serves me, any of the tension, the stress, the burden, the toxins, anxiety, the thoughts, the resistance. I ask that it all be released now, and you can send it out the window. Sometimes I'll envision I'm like swirling this like it's kind of like cotton candy, you know, like I'm swirling around and gathering it like, I don't know, what's something you swirl around and it's getting stuck even more. And then I'll send it out the window and clear and release it. So have a tool that you can use. I even have this, it's a white sage spray that I got that I love. And that way you're not actually having to light anything. You can spray this as well and say that prayer and send it out the window. Some questions here. Megan said, do you use the whole stick or just until you've gotten all the nooks? Like I've used this a couple of times, like 3 times. So I do not use the whole stick because it would take way too long. And then exactly what Kiara is saying is just wait until you feel the shift. That's a really great indicator where you are knowing. So sending it out of the room, having that clarification of like, hey, I want this gone. That argument I had with my partner or that stressful feeling that was showing up for me, that anxiety, I call it to be like, be gone. We are done. So using that prayer, using a tool is going to be a really helpful way to seal up that energy leakage in your environment. So the next time that you go into your space, you're going to feel like, oh my gosh, it feels so clean in here, so clear. I would even invite you to vacuum the floors, clean off the mirrors, clear off your desk, whatever it is that you need to do. So that way the energy feels truly clear. Okay. Bedroom and office. Energy leakage in environment number 2 that nobody really thinks about is your pillow. Okay, we've all done this. We've all done this where you might be worried or stressed or have anxiety about something, and then you fall asleep on your pillow at night and your brain is racing. Well, guess what? That energy can leak and absorb into your pillow. So say if you've ever had a night where you're like falling asleep, but you're crying, that sadness will end up in your pillow. And then the next night or next day, you might be feeling great. But then the next night when you go to sleep, you're putting your head on that pillow again. That's still holding the voltage and frequency of that, the voltage and frequency of those feelings and emotions. And so I actually caught on to this really young when I was a kid, because I had a lot of trauma growing up. And so I would fall asleep time and time again with tears in my pillow and sadness and deep prayers to like pull me out of this situation or whatever that was. And I knew that my pillow just didn't feel right. It didn't feel safe. It was like if you smear, I don't know, poop is what's coming to mind. So I'll say it. Like you smear poop on your pillow and then you're like, I'm just going to lay there again. No, like my body knew at like 8 years old, I didn't want to do that. And so what I started doing is I would take my pillow and I would vacuum it. Again, I was like little, but I would vacuum my pillow because in my mind, it would suck up all of the bad things. Now my family didn't have the money to be able to afford a new pillow, especially not consistently, right? And so I would vacuum it and then I would fluff it and then I'd flip it and I would vacuum it and then I'd take it outside and I would beat it and then I would put like a Lysol on it too. And then I would put it in the sun for kind of, I imagine like God's light on it and clearing all of the icky stuff from it. And then I would put it in the pillowcase and I would sleep on it. So you don't have to go that extreme, but that is an example of childhood knowing that the pillow will hold, it'll be an energy leakage because you're putting yourself in the same position and same energy and emotions that you were trying to get out and release. So allow that to come through, but also some tools that you can use is fluff your pillow outside. Get a new pillow. It might be a great time for you to get a new pillow, even new sheets or new mattresses are more expensive, but it's also something to think about. And you can also put it in the sunlight. It doesn't have to be moonlight. It doesn't have to be at a certain hour. Just put it outside if you want, or put it with the reflection of light coming in through your window and give it a flip. After, a couple of hours, whatever feels good for you, you can even take your Palo Santo around your pillow, around your mattress, around your sheets, and do the same prayer. I'm willing to release what no longer serves me. I'm ready to let this go. So that's an energy leakage. We are going to seal it up. Okay, another thing is items with associations. This is interesting, but you will notice that Maybe you have like a gift that your ex-boyfriend gave you a long time ago, but you're no longer together, but a part of you is like, oh, but I miss him and I think about him when I see that. Okay. If you look at that item and it does not bring you joy, or like Marie Kondo talks about sparking joy, if it doesn't spark joy for you, get rid of it. Get rid of it. If it's a picture, if it's an image that doesn't light you up and it has a certain association, let it go. I know I have some things from my mom that I had, and part of me was holding that on. And I was taken away from my mom when I was 13. And so part of me wants to like hold on to it. But also some of the things that I was holding on from her, I had an association of like abandonment and rejection. Like it didn't make me feel good. And I held on to it for years and it didn't make me feel any better. And so when I finally released that, when we moved into this house, I got rid of a lot of things that I was holding on to. Oh my gosh. It's like my garage became sacred because it wasn't holding on any association to anything that was negative or anything that made me feel sad or insecure or abandoned or rejected, all those things. So if you notice any items that have association in your house and it doesn't make you happy, guess what? It can be an energy leakage because you're probably going to think about whatever that is, whatever that was. For example, I would think about my mom and like, man, I wonder how she's doing. And if my mom passes away, am I even going to know? What do I do? I'm like, this is beautiful manifestation space in my brain that I am wasting on something that does not serve me. And I'm thinking about it over and over and over again, right? So an item with association, you want to get rid of that too, so it's not a leakage. Let me know if there's anything for you that's showing up that you're like, ooh, this is an item that has an association that I'm ready to let go of. Oh, okay. Well, here we go. I have a dead person's clothes in my closet who was my dark times and he was going to marry me. Yes, my friend, it is probably time, if that feels good in alignment for you, to let that go. And there is a universal law of vacuum, which states that when we release and when we remove excess from our space, it allows more energy to come in, more opportunities, more abundance. So I noticed for myself, actually, I got rid of a lot of clothes. I was keeping maternity clothes from 6 years ago, actually like 7 years ago now, because I was like, oh, maybe one day I'll need them. And I was keeping them. I'm like, why? I'm in a financial space where I can just buy new maternity clothes. I don't have to use the hand-me-downs from 7 years ago, but I was holding on to them. And it was a magical thing because when I went through my closet and I took out everything that I haven't worn in the past 2 years, donated it to friends, and then shortly after, I ended up manifesting a gift card for $500. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. And I used that to get a new wardrobe of clothes that I liked and made me feel really good. Because it is the law of vacuum, I had to remove those clothes in order to receive more to come in. So when you remove those items of association, trust me, magic is going to happen. Tina, she says, wow, my mind is blown. I felt the urge to wash my pillows today. And now I know why I felt that urge. Yes. Also, trust that urge. Trust what you're feeling in your heart because it is your intuition speaking to you. And you might get some weird things like, I feel like I need to wash my pillow. Trust it because there is a reason behind it. Beautiful. Yeah, and Katie says here, she's like, another great one, even general clutter in your house can be an energy drain. Absolutely. So I keep my house it's pretty minimal, but having too much will make you feel like, oh my gosh, there's never enough of me to go around. There's never enough time in the day to get things done. So by having clutter in our house and not having it done, then we are reaffirming these beliefs of like, oh, I'm so busy, there's not enough time. So clear it out so your home environment is not an energy drain. Paula, I love you, my friend. Welcome. She says, oh my gosh, I get rid of anything that is a hurt from the past. Yes. And I slept, oh, here, I'm gonna read this one for you, Megan. This is so interesting. So we moved my pillow. When we moved, my pillow was in the moving stuff and I was so excited to get it. And when I slept on it, I slept horribly. Yes, that's another thing too, is I'm really protective of my space. Again, I know I'm extra, but my husband has his pillow and I have mine. I clear them both, but I sleep on mine. I sleep on mine because we do have to be really mindful of what other energy are we absorbing. And same thing with shoes. Didn't have this planned, but with shoes, one of my psychic coaches, she told me, Ashley, never buy used shoes. Because if you think about the gravity of energy, granted it's like free flowing, but when at a thrift store or something like that, someone's wearing shoes, that energy is like going down through their feet chakras, like it can. And so it is kind of a pool in their feet of whatever it is they're going through. And that's what we talk about, walk a mile in someone else's shoes. So if you do get shoes at the thrift store, which you can get some really good deals at the thrift store, like I'm all about it. But I would say clear them first, shake, like beat the heck out of it, say a prayer over it, do whatever it is. So that way you are not cross-contaminating in a way with their energy or their sadness or whatever that is. Be really mindful of that environment. Love it. Okay, so talked about the bedroom in the office, talked about the pillow, home with items with association. And another reminder is that your home is your vision board. So you want to be able to see anything, any room that you walk into, you want it to inspire you. You want it to spark joy. And just like Katie was saying, if you have that chaotic clutter, you're not making space for more. And there's a feng shui element to this as well, where like ancient history supports this, and medicine or Chinese medicine and perspective, ancestral things support this. So what can you do to clear your space? A huge tip is just donate it. Donate it. What is it that you haven't used in the past 2 years? This can be cookware. This could be clothes. This could be boxes, whatever it is. Like, summer is not over yet. You still have some sunshine to get up in all of those places and clear it out, and notice what magic is going to flow and show up in your space. What is on your walls? What images are on your walls? You know, I had this amazing friend, love him dearly. He drew this picture of me. Many of you guys know that I have struggled with mental health, and I was like highly medicated for that in the past when I was really stressed and dark times. And one of the things that I had struggled with or I was diagnosed with in the past was bipolar disorder. And so I'd be so stressed, and it would spark and like tip the scales of these huge outbursts. And I remember my friend, he knew this, and I was very honest with him about it. So he drew me this gorgeous picture that really was a beautiful symbolism of how I felt. And it was of a girl who was kind of like in the fetal position, like she was sitting down, but like kind of in the fetal position with her head kind of like this. And there's this monster behind her that was like pulling her energy. And it was so true of how I felt, as I just was so sad and broken and stuck and all of the emotions. And I wanted to be true and pure and who I am now. That's what I wanted to be with this potential. But I had this monster in the background that of depression, anxiety, stress, all of the things pulling on me. Gorgeous picture. He framed it. I was so grateful. And even though it's so beautiful and it means a lot to me, I cannot have that in my house because I'm in such a healed space now that even though I want to honor him and his great work, if I look at that, it does not spark joy for me. In fact, it makes me sad for Ashley and her, teens and 20s who had to go through that. And so even though I love it, it's in my garage right now and it's faced backwards. So that way I don't have to look at it. I just don't have the heart to get rid of it yet because I know he put a lot of energy into it, and it is like he was there for me kind of thing. But still, I have to protect my space. So that way my house doesn't have things that remind me of things that make me sad or bring me pain. Some tools, some things that I have like on my desk, my vision board. I don't know if I can show you, but you're on a monitor. So I have my my computer right here, and I have a vision board on it. You can, you're connected, so I can't do that. But you'll see on the one half, you saw my team. It's a picture of my team. They're like, oh my gosh, we did it. Like, because I run a company, but my team, I would not be where I am today if not for my amazing team. So I have on my vision board them saying, our dreams came true. Best team ever. How lucky did we get? And then on the other side, which I can't show you because it's connected, you'll see it's me, Presley, Farhad, and Mochi. And it's like, all of our investments are paid off. I look at this every day. It's like right here. Vision board is right here. I have pictures of Presley. Here's a tip. Have gold. You can see Presley's everywhere. Have gold in your office. It's a great symbolism of abundance. And so my office is my vision board. I have my baby. Presley made this for me. She said, anytime I miss her, I can just look at this with her little bow. So I have like a bunch of pictures of Presley over here. So You want your office to be your vision board. So you are looking at why you are doing this, what you want to manifest, what you are calling in, and everything is going to bring you joy. Oh, another thing with this, it's not just gold, but I love this line in particular. I got it at Ross. Like, it is a like very inexpensive thing. But what I love about it is it's a lion, this like king of the kingdom who is so powerful and gets to roar and be in that like masculine energy, queenly but kingly, right? But also he is in peace, in total bliss. He's not worried about anything. He's not worried about me. He's not worried about nothing. Look at that peaceful little face. So when I look at this, it reminds me of me and how I want to feel. Like, you get to have both. You get to have it all and be the queen of your kingdom, and you also get to be in a place of bliss. So longer than expected, but it does make the point. You want your house to be your vision board. You want your goals to be listed and to be seen. So that way it does bring you joy. So what leakages are in your environment? What are you willing to shift today? What are you willing to let go of in your home, in your environment? Maybe it's even a TV show that you're like, yeah, I know this isn't serving me. What does that look like for you? And also, what questions do you have? So wrapping this up, we have our 3 energy drains with our mind, our body, and our environment. Which one stood out to you the most? We are going to be dropping the homework thread. So you can share in there, again, to be entered into the giveaway. You want to comment here. Great job, everyone. I'm so proud of you. Thank you for participating. Comment in the homework thread, which has already been dropped. And then also, if you want to share this on social media, what you learned, and you want to give me a tag, that counts for the giveaway as well. Sneak peek into our session number 3 is going to be energy constipation and how it is blocking your cash flow. This is one of my favorites because it's so fun to talk about. Please connect with us if you need anything, and I will see you the same time, same place tomorrow, 12 p.m. Pacific time for training number 3.